Good evening. I'd like to thank all of you for coming out tonight and showing your interest in the future of our city. I'd like to thank Mike and Heidi for their time and assistance in this as well. Well, I stood up here at a candidates forum 2 years ago, and I promised to do my best to improve the way our city government functions. And while we have seen some small improvements from time to time, we still face a lot of the same issues that we've battled over the years. Lack of clear budget and financial information, lack of transparency and accountability, lack of strong leadership from our current mayor, and a lack of simple respect for one another. I feel all of these issues can be resolved with a single solution, and that is to elect a mayor who will be a real manager for the city of North Bonneville. Our city operates under the strong mayor form of government, which requires a mayor to be an executive or an administrator and to manage the city in the best interest of the city as a whole. Not the city staff, not the city council, but the residents of the city, the people who pay for city government and expect a good return for their investment. We need a mayor who will give clear direction to the city staff and help them solve and achieve their goals for the betterment of the city. We need a manager or mayor who will work with the staff to find ways for them to work smarter and not harder. 2 years ago, I hoped I could improve cooperation within our city government by acting as a peacemaker during meetings, but what I've discovered is that without a steady hand at the controls, a strong mayor, our city government has continued to kind of flounder, and the end result has been no improvement in the way we transact our city's business, which is your business. The city council held a water fund workshop on Monday, and I had asked for specific financial information, salary information to be broken out separately so that we could try and address that issue. Asked for regular time, overtime, on-call pay, and callback pay to all be separated out. At the workshop, what we got was a single piece of paper that not only didn't break out any of the salary information, but it lumped it together with contract service, which made a single figure that was, really impossible to deal with. What's frightening is that figure was $20,000 in 2007, and jumped to $92,000 in 2008, and is currently just over $89,000 as of August of this year. Those are discouraging numbers, but without knowing what's going on, there's really no action that this council can recommend at this point. Someone in our city government has all this information, but it's not being shared with our legislative body, which is the city council, and this has resulted in the loss of one of the most fundamental aspects of our government, our system of checks and balances. If I'm elected mayor, I will ensure that our city council receives the information they need to have informed decisions to help run our city for the betterment of all. I think the city deserves a mayor who's willing to put the people first, and I'm prepared to be that mayor. Thank you.
Good evening. By now, most of you know that I'm a candidate for mayor of the amazing city of North Bonneville. Since its relocation, our city has had large open spaces, and it's fostered a park-like setting to the point where a lot of folks who pull in here believe it is just that, just a park. I believe the city should be managed using common sense and the voices of local residents and business owners exclusively. As your mayor, I'll restore respect to the citizens and the city employees. I will conduct orderly and civil meetings and assure that all will be heard. All members of the city council will have equal time and make their comments without interruption. We are very fortunate to have some outstanding city workers. I shall heavily rely upon their expertise to provide the best services possible to our community within the budget. I am dedicated to promoting and marketing the city as a place to visit, stay, and settle and grow for industry, as well as people. Any growth, though, needs to be balanced, keeping our small town environment the cozy place we've come to know and love. The wastewater treatment plant is the biggest challenge we face. It must be replaced. I will find a way to do it. Currently, there are 2 grant applications in the works, but believe it or not, the average income for our residents may make it impossible to qualify for these grants. So we may have to look elsewhere. Let me assure you, I will not stop working on securing the needed funds and finance until this project has gained final approval from somewhere. Failure of this is not an option. Our plant is worn out. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.